dwelling unit dining room receptacles must be on 20 ampere branch circuits. While it is true that the National Electrical Code, or NEC, does not explicitly require small appliance branch circuits to be 20 amps, other sections of the NEC indirectly mandate this requirement. Section 210.52 Brown states in dwelling units, at least two 20 ampere branch circuits shall be provided to supply receptacle outlets in the kitchen, pantry, breakfast room, dining room, and similar areas where small appliances are likely to be used. Section 210.11 Code requires that receptacle outlets shall be computed from the actual ampere rating of the branch circuit. Therefore, since the minimum required circuit for dining room receptacles is 20 amps according to Section 210.52 Bone, the corresponding receptacle outlets must be computed at 20 amps according to Section 210.11 Cone. This effectively requires 20 amp receptacles on dining room branch circuits. The NEC is a comprehensive set of guidelines designed to ensure electrical safety. It covers a wide range of topics from wiring methods to overcurrent protection. Understanding and adhering to the NEC is crucial for electricians, contractors, and anyone working with electrical systems. Let's delve deeper into the specific sections mentioned and how they relate to the requirement for 20 amp circuits in dining rooms. Section 210.52 addresses the required receptacle outlets in dwelling units. It specifies the placement and type of receptacles needed in various rooms, including kitchens, dining rooms, living rooms, and bedrooms. The purpose of this section is to ensure that occupants have convenient access to electrical power where they need it. Section 210.52b specifically focuses on small appliance branch circuits. These circuits are intended to supply power to small appliances, such as toasters, blenders, coffee makers, and other kitchen or dining room appliances. The requirement for at least two 20 amp small appliance branch circuits in the kitchen and dining areas reflects the high demand for electricity in these spaces. Modern kitchens and dining rooms often feature a variety of appliances that can draw significant amounts of power simultaneously. Providing dedicated 20 amp circuits helps prevent overloading the circuits and tripping breakers. Now, let's examine Section 210.11, which deals with branch circuits in general. Section 210.11c specifically addresses dwelling unit branch circuit requirements. Section 210.11 Cone states that the branch circuit load for a receptacle outlet shall be computed from the actual ampere rating of the branch circuit. This means that when calculating the load on a branch circuit, you must use the actual amperage of the circuit breaker or fuse protecting that circuit. For example, if you have a 15 amp circuit, you would calculate the load based on 15 amps. If you have a 20 amp circuit, you would calculate the load based on 20 amps. The connection between these two sections, 210.52 Bone and 210.11 Cone, is what indirectly mandates the 20 amp requirement for dining room receptacles. Because Section 210.52 Bone requires at least two 20 amp circuits to serve the dining room, Section 210.11 Cone dictates that the receptacle outlets on those circuits must be computed at 20 amps. This means that you cannot use a 15 amp receptacle on a 20 amp circuit. The receptacle must be rated for 20 amps to match the circuit's capacity. Using a 15 amp receptacle on a 20 amp circuit would create a potential safety hazard. The receptacle would be the weakest link in the circuit, and it could overheat or fail if subjected to a load exceeding its rating. This could lead to a fire or other electrical problems. To comply with the NEC, you must use 20 amp receptacles on the 20 amp small appliance branch circuit serving the dining room. These receptacles are typically identified by a T-slot configuration, which allows them to accept both standard 15 amp plugs and 20 amp plugs. In addition to the specific requirements for dining room receptacles, it's important to understand the broader context of electrical safety in dwelling units. Overloaded circuits are a common cause of electrical fires. When a circuit is overloaded, the wires can overheat and melt the insulation, leading to a short circuit and potentially a fire. To prevent overloads, it's important to distribute electrical loads evenly across different circuits. Avoid plugging too many appliances into a single outlet or circuit. If you frequently trip breakers or blow fuses, it's a sign that you may have overloaded circuits. Consider adding additional circuits or upgrading your electrical panel to increase your capacity. Grounding is another essential aspect of electrical safety. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping the breaker and preventing electrical shock. Make sure that all of your electrical outlets and appliances are properly grounded. If you have any doubts about the grounding in your home, consult with a qualified electrician. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are another important safety device. GFCIs are designed to detect ground faults, which occur when electricity leaks from a circuit to ground. GFCIs quickly interrupt the flow of electricity, preventing electrical shock. GFCIs are typically required in bathrooms, kitchens, and other wet locations where the risk of electrical shock is higher. Arc fault circuit interrupters, or SIs, are also becoming increasingly common. SIs are designed to detect arc faults, which are dangerous electrical arcs that can cause fires. SIs are typically required in bedrooms and other areas where people sleep. Regular electrical inspections are also crucial for maintaining electrical safety. A qualified electrician can inspect your wiring, outlets, and appliances to identify any potential hazards. They can also test your GFCIs and SIs to make sure they are functioning properly. If you are planning any electrical work in your home, it's always best to hire a qualified electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it's important to have the expertise and experience to do it safely and correctly. In summary, the NEC indirectly requires dwelling unit dining room receptacles to be on 20 amp branch circuits due to the combination of sections 210.52 bone and 210.11 cone. This requirement helps ensure electrical safety and prevents overloading circuits. Always follow the NEC and consult with a qualified electrician when working with electrical systems. Remember that electrical codes are in place for a reason and must be followed, along with good design practices such as load calculations to keep the occupant safe and protect the building from fire hazards. When dealing with electrical systems, safety is paramount. It's crucial to have a thorough understanding of the NEC and local electrical codes. Always prioritize safety and consult with qualified professionals when needed. Electrical work should only be performed by those who are properly trained and experienced. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it's important to take all necessary precautions. Before starting any electrical work, always disconnect the power to the circuit you will be working on. Use appropriate safety equipment, such as insulated gloves and eye protection. Double-check your work to ensure that it is done correctly and safely. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical work, seek guidance from a qualified electrician. Never take risks with electricity. It's better to be safe than sorry. In addition to the specific requirements for dining room receptacles, there are many other important aspects of electrical safety to consider in dwelling units. For example, smoke detectors are essential for providing early warning of fires. Make sure that you have working smoke detectors installed in all required locations, such as bedrooms and hallways. Test your smoke detectors regularly to ensure that they are functioning properly. Carbon monoxide detectors are also important for protecting against carbon monoxide poisoning. Carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless gas that can be deadly. Make sure that you have working carbon monoxide detectors installed in your home, especially if you have fuel-burning appliances such as furnaces or water heaters. Replace the batteries in your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors at least once a year. It's also a good idea to have a fire extinguisher on hand in case of a small fire. Make sure that you know how to use the fire extinguisher properly. Develop a fire escape plan and practice it with your family. Make sure that everyone knows how to evacuate the house safely in case of a fire. By taking these precautions, you can help protect yourself and your family from electrical hazards and fires. Remember, electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. Let's explore some additional considerations related to the installation and maintenance of 20 amp circuits in dining rooms. When installing new circuits, it's important to use the correct wiring gauge. The gauge of the wire determines its current carrying capacity. For 20 amp circuits, it's typically recommended to use 12-gauge wire. Using a smaller gauge wire can lead to overheating and potentially a fire. Make sure that the wire connectors are properly tightened. Loose connections can cause arcing and overheating. Use appropriate wire connectors for the type of wire you are using. When installing receptacles, make sure that they are securely mounted in the electrical box. Loose receptacles can be a safety hazard. Use appropriate screws to secure the receptacles to the box. Inspect the wiring and receptacles periodically for any signs of damage. Replace any damaged wiring or receptacles immediately. If you notice any flickering lights, burning smells, or other unusual electrical problems, investigate the cause and take corrective action. Don't ignore electrical problems. They can be a sign of a serious underlying issue. Consider using surge protectors to protect your electronic devices from power surges. Power surges can damage sensitive electronic equipment. Surge protectors can help absorb the excess voltage and prevent damage. Unplug electronic devices when they are not in use. This can save energy and protect the devices from power surges. Be careful when using extension cords. Avoid overloading extension cords. Use extension cords only temporarily. For permanent power needs, install additional outlets. Keep electrical cords away from water. Water can conduct electricity and create a shock hazard. Never use electrical appliances near water. Educate children about electrical safety. Teach them not to play with electrical outlets or cords. Make sure they understand the dangers of electricity. By following these tips, you can help ensure the safe and reliable operation of your electrical system. Remember that electrical safety is an ongoing process. It requires vigilance and attention to detail. Stay informed about electrical safety practices and take steps to minimize the risks. When in doubt, consult with a qualified electrician. Their expertise can help you identify and address potential electrical hazards. In addition to the NEC, local electrical codes may also apply. Check with your local building department to ensure that you are complying with all applicable codes. Local codes may have specific requirements that are not covered in the NEC. Compliance with all applicable codes is essential for ensuring electrical safety. Regular inspections by qualified electricians can help identify potential problems and ensure compliance with codes. Keep accurate records of all electrical work performed in your home. This information can be helpful for future maintenance and repairs. When selling your home, provide potential buyers with information about the electrical system, including any upgrades or repairs that have been performed. A well-maintained and up-to-code electrical system can be a selling point for your home. Electrical safety is a shared responsibility. By working together, homeowners, electricians, and building officials can help create a safe electrical environment for everyone. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician for specific electrical needs and concerns. This ensures that your electrical system is installed and maintained according to the highest safety standards. Remember, prioritizing electrical safety can save lives and prevent property damage. Don't take risks with electricity. It's always better to err on the side of caution.